Hi, in this video I'm going to show you how to wire up a turbo timer for your vehicle's engine. All too important for anybody with a turbo engine. These are also really good if you have added a remote starter to your vehicle with a turbo timer, because typically no remote starter, at least not many of them, have a turbo timer built in. So this is going to allow you to do the feature where after the vehicle shuts down, it's going to leave that ignition on, so that way your fans continue to run for a programmable length of time to keep your engine cold and minimize damage to your motor. Okay. Now this here is an Omega. It's a turbo timer Model 2, turbo timer 2, which we sell on the website, and I very much recommend it. These are very cheap and a must-have if you have a turbo. Basically, inside there you're going to have your primary ignition harness with these heavy gauge 14 gauge wires, and you have this secondary harness. Inside there's a 2-pin plug. This here is for the switch to turn it off, and then you have 3 settings, so you can adjust the actual length of time where the ignition will remain on after the key is disengaged. And you got 2 nice little plugs where you can connect right to. So you got your blue. This one here, if you're using an Omega alarm anyway, will go blue to blue. This is your primary ignition. You got your yellow, which is your second ignition if it's applicable to your vehicle. You have 2 ignitions, you're going to want to put this to that. Okay. And we got the red, which is going to go to fuse constant 12 volts. You'll notice that in here there is a fuse already in line, so you don't have to worry about the fuse. And that's that 3-pin harness. And in here you got 4 other wires. Now you got your black, which you're going to put to your chassis ground. You can put it to black if you have an aftermarket alarm, any brand, they're all black to black. And of course you're going to have a few other guys. Your violet. Violet's going to go to your foot brake. So when you depress your brake in your car, you put your foot down. That wire's going to rest low at ground, and when you depress your brake, it's going to go to 12 volts. You're going to want to put this there. So if you go into your car and your ignition is remaining on from this module, when you depress the brake, this will shut it down. Also, this will do the same feature, this button, if you want to do it that way. But it's much easier, obviously, not to reach down for a valet switch if you could just use your foot. Okay. Then, of course, we got the blue-white. This wire here is the one that's actually going to engage this. So that way, say for a remote starter, if you're using the ignition wire, which you could use in this case the blue, when the remote starts on, the blue is going to have 12 volts out, but when the remote start shuts down, it's going to rest at ground. This can go to that. It's a quick and easy way, so you can do most of your wiring right there at your alarm module. Otherwise, you can put it to anything that throws ground. This will also do this. And the last but not least is the orange. The orange detects the voltage in your car, so that way, say if your car is off, the car will rest typically at 11.5 to 12.5 volts, and when a car is running, it goes up to 13.5 to 14.5. This will detect the difference between the two, and this is also a necessary connection for the turbo timer. And that pretty much explains it all. That's the Omega Turbo Timer 2.